Hey everyone, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy X, where this time around, we're going to be looking at boss number 15, Wendigo. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is that he also has two Guado Guardians, much like Seymour did. And your first reaction is probably going to be to bring Riku into the game to steal high potions from them, just like you did with Seymour. And I can't really fault you for doing that, because it's a logical thing to do. It makes perfect sense, because, again, if you damage them, then they will heal themselves. And that's always a bad thing. But the trouble with doing that this time around is, the longer these two guys stay alive, the more chance there is that you will die. Because you may have just seen one of them cast Berserk on Wendigo. That's a very bad thing, because Wendigo is strong enough by himself, really. He doesn't need any help to kill you. He'll do that without a second thought. But by adding Berserk to him, it makes him so much harder to deal with. So just completely ignore trying to steal the potions from him. From them, sorry. Because it doesn't serve any purpose. What you should do instead is, before you come into this fight, you can wander around the save point and just make sure all of your characters have their overdrive gauges filled. I actually cannot stress that enough. Before you start this fight, you need to have all of your characters with full overdrive gauges, because it just makes things so much easier. So, let's start again and go about this in the right way this time. So, to start off with, you want to use Tidus and make him use his overdrive. You want to use Spiral Cut because Slice and Dice is far too random and doesn't do anywhere near enough damage. So do Spiral Cut and just choose one of the Guardians. It doesn't matter which one. And you'll kill them instantly. Now on death, one will cast Protect and one will cast Shell on Wendigo. But that's fine. Don't worry about that too much right now. We can deal with that later. There is a chance, though, that the second one will still get to cast Berserk on Wendigo, but that's okay, because you can just bring Yuna in and cast Ezuna on him. Be warned, though, that throughout this entire fight, there is a chance that Yuna's going to die quite a few times. There's nothing you can do about it, so I just really hope you've brought plenty of Phoenix Downs. In any case, if this does happen, don't panic. That's the worst thing you can do. The most important thing is getting rid of the Guardians. Okay, I mean, if you look in the top right corner, you can see that Tidus will get his go before anyone else again. In this instance, I can use him to resurrect Yuna, while using Waka to basically do as much damage as possible. Hoping, yes! I get all three, which means I get 12 hits. Now this is going to take out the final Guardian and just leave Wendigo, which is precisely what you want to do. Would have preferred more hits going towards Wendigo there, but nothing you can do about that. So now that those two are down, we only have Wendigo to deal with. Unfortunately, like I said before, even without Berserk, he still packs quite a punch, so you've kind of got to be careful here. In this instance, I choose to defend with Tidus because he's got more chance of living than Yuna does if I had resurrected her earlier. Also, I've now got a number of moves before Wendigo goes again, so I can just get everything ready. The next thing you want to do is to bring Ixion into the fight. Not as a Grand Summon. I have to stress that. Do not use Grand Summon for Ixion. Just bring him in as a regular summon. The reason for this is because, remember Protect and Shell that I mentioned earlier? Well, Ixion can get rid of both of those with just one Arrow Spark. That's all you need him for. Which is good, because Wendigo can punch him out in one hit. But that's fine, he's done his job. Protect and Shell are gone, so you can now focus on actually damaging Wendigo. The next things you need to do are as follows. First of all, you need to use Waka and use his dark attack to blind Wendigo whenever you can. Second, you need to have Oren use Power Break to lower his strength. It doesn't always hit first time, so like I said, there's a chance Yuna's going to die quite a few times, considering she most likely has the least HP of your active party members. But it's fine, don't worry about that. Just keep going, eventually Power Break will hit, and then blind him again, and you'll be fine. Naturally, I shouldn't need to tell you at this point that you should haste whenever possible. To be honest, by now that should be a standard reaction in pretty much any fight, not just bosses. Eventually, once you've taken off enough health, Wendigo will put his dukes up. This is both good and bad. It's good because you can use this point to resurrect any fallen characters and get your health back up. Because when his hands are up, he will not attack you right now. He will not attack you in this state. It's bad, though, because if you physically attack him at this point, he will immediately counter and most likely kill you. And we don't want that. Instead, what you want to do is bring Lulu into the mix, and because I told you earlier to bring every character in with a full overdrive gauge, we can just go ahead and use her Fury overdrive. Preferably with Fyra, because Wendigo is kind of weak to fire. As you can see, that did quite a bit of damage. Now at this point, he shouldn't really have that much health left. Maybe about 6,000 or 7,000 or so. And it's at this point when you suddenly realise why I told you not to use Grand Summon for Ixion. No, 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 no. Instead, you should use Grand Summon right now, but for Ifrit. It suddenly all makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah. So bring Ifrit in, and immediately use his Hellfire Overdrive, which will hit for maximum damage. Although I was a bit disappointed that he didn't die in that exact point, because that would have been amazing. Doubly so because you'll see in a few seconds that he only has 197 health left. Just a bit annoying. But if that happens, just, you know, have Ifrit sneeze on him and he'll fall over. And that's the end of the fight right there. Yet another boss defeated, and you're one step closer to Sin. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.